I'm going live. I'm not planning on, like, actively answering questions because I've been answering questions all fucking day and I'm fucking exhausted. So I also apologize that I look like garbage, but I don't really think anybody gives a shit. I know I don't. So, to preface this, I'd first like to say that this live stream is going to be very different than I'm sure the fucking live streams that you've seen earlier. And I'm planning on telling everybody exactly what the fuck is going on as somebody who is in a relationship with Omar and has been privy to the situation prior to the police even being called. And I want to fucking sort this out now, and I'm sick of seeing misinformation in the news and people spreading misinformation that this is some kind of like PTSD psychological break, or that he was assaulting his parents. None of this happened. I'll tell you everything that did happen. I'll get to it. This might be a while, but I'll try to get through it as quickly as possible. But also to preface, I'm sober. I'm of sound mind. Whatever else is requirement for you to trust what I'm saying. I have text evidence. I got receipts for pretty much everything I'm gonna say. I'd be happy to upload all of it if y'all give me, a minute. I got a lot of shit that I gotta upload. I also have video recordings of chats I had with Omar today. I have screenshots of correspondence with the police today. There's videos of me speaking with the police and them being extremely rude towards me and towards other people, and then wondering why the situation is how it is when it's being handled how it is. So to start, this all started over a piece of lasagna. A lot of people get a kick out of that, and I have this on text. I was speaking with Omar yesterday. He was fine. We were talking about watching anime today, normal couple shit, making plans, and he went downstairs to go get a slice of lasagna because he was hungry, and normally he has to wait until his narcissistic parents are asleep in order to actually feel safe to leave his room in order to actually go get food, because the second that he unlocks his door and leaves his room, his parents decide to start screaming at him almost immediately. But he decided to go get some food for once while his parents were still awake, and obviously the inevitable happened, and they did obviously start harassing him as soon as he left his room. And I ended up getting messages and calls not that long after of him being very upset, very clearly upset over the situation. He was not assaulting his parents. He was not firing guns at his parents. I know some of the live streams look very erratic, but that was after all of this happened. Before the police was called, there was no violence. He didn't assault his parents. The only person who was assaulted is Omar. You could see that by his face. His parents don't have a mark on them. Not one. Meanwhile, Omar's face is fucked. That was from his mom. I have him on video saying that as well. I have personally had experiences with his parents. They're extremely toxic. The situation has been ongoing with them for the past multiple months. It's just progressively escalated. He has attempted to sit down with his parents and talk to them. He was basically being like a literal fucking angel child. He did fucking everything for his parents, and they treated him like garbage. And this is what caused this fucking situation to happen. It is not some crazy PTSD veteran psychological break. It's not him just losing it. It's being a man being pushed every single day for months on end until he just fucking can't take it anymore. And this all started over lasagna. And he fucking went upstairs and he called me upset and he was locked in his room. That's what happened. He was locked in his room, and his parents were yelling at him through the door, and he was yelling back. Eventually, his parents decided to call the police. This was the only moment that I was not present for. There was about like a 2 or 3 hour period where I wasn't talking to him. That's when all of the live streams occurred. But the situation that escalated everything that happened was this. It was his parents. He did not start anything. I would just like to make that very clear. He didn't start anything. His parents did. They're not good people. I don't want to see anything. If he dies, I don't want to see a fucking single thing about them being woe is me. This is their fault. I got pictures of them. I've got texts. His parents have called me a bitch for literally no reason. They're fucking terrible people. So where else should I go from here? I guess with the police, Omar messaged me at 7:30 in the morning. The police had been called by his parents, and when the cops came, Omar had his gun, which it is his right to bear arms. It is. He didn't fire at the cops. What's that say? Yeah, feel free to record this. I'm going to keep this on my page, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised if I get arrested next, and I would love for somebody to have this. And people think I'm crazy for saying that, but it'd be crazy to think that they wouldn't try to arrest somebody that they know is involved in the situation that they believe allegedly provided currency that went towards the guns and ammo. And as well as his body armor. I'm not going to confirm or deny that. Allegedly, that happened. They also intercepted private communications between me and Omar. They know that I threatened his parents, which I did, allegedly. But I'm sure they have a recording of that. Like I said, I would not be surprised at all if I am the next one to get fucking arrested. So, by all means, share this and fucking record it. So at 7:30, Omar messaged me that his house was surrounded by cops. And this is one man in a house by himself. His parents were not in the house at this point. This was one man in a house by himself. And there were squad cars shutting down the entire block. There's pictures online of the fucking cop cars shutting down the entire road. Just lines of fucking cop cars for one fucking person alone in the house. Nobody was in danger. And 50 fucking armed officers showed up at his house and started treating it like a fucking hostage negotiation. If somebody showed up at your house with a fucking army over literally not doing anything, they didn't have a warrant, there were no charges. There's still no charges. There's still no warrant. The current officer on the scene, we had to ask like 5 times for him to even identify himself and provide his name and badge number. We have that on video as well. The cops have tried to say that I was egging him on and not being helpful to the situation, in which I have text proof with correspondence between me and Omar as well as me and the police that I was being nothing but helpful the entire day. The only way that Omar would talk to the police was through me. Either through me or with me arranging either him to call the police or the police to call him, but I was the only one who was actually fucking doing anything to help the situation with the police as far as that went. And now they're trying to start shit and say that I was egging him on and was making the situation worse, which like I said, I've photographic proof that the opposite is the case. An update as of now, because I'm sure most people know what's went down so far, is that he's been boarded up in his house since about 4 this morning. The cops came and then the cops left and the county sheriff's office arrived. That was around 4 o'clock this morning. and he's been boarded up in his house since then. He hasn't hurt anybody. The only person who has been hurt all day is himself. I would like to also make that clear. And he has been boarded up in the house since then. Without a warrant, they breached his home with no warrant and no charges pending. They breached his home, and obviously nobody in immediate danger, of course, because it was literally just himself in the home. They fucking... I will say that the day staff were a lot better than the night staff. Once shift change happened, nobody bothered to communicate with me whatsoever, and everybody had my number. Everybody knows who I am in the situation. I'm pretty much the only person in the entire situation that's corresponded with the police that actually knows Omar personally, period, aside from his parents, who were the ones that called the police on him in the first place. I'm the only one that actually knows him properly, that's been involved in the situation and has cooperated with the police. Omar's only requests to the police were for them to bring me to the scene. He didn't ask for me to be brought into the home with him, which is understandable. Obviously, they're not going to put a fucking civilian inside of a house with an armed man that they believe is unhinged. That's fine. I live 45 minutes away. They refused to take me over there. They tried to make me make an audio recording for them to play for him. They were actively using psychological warfare to try and force him out of the house by putting alarms on. They have militarized vehicles outside of his house actively. I know that there was at least one. He at one point said that another rolled up, so there may be two. There's at least one that's right outside of the window of the room that he is in currently. And as of right now, I have no idea. I've had people ask me what's going on, and I don't know. About 2, maybe 3 hours ago now, the police cut communications. They cut his internet and they cut his phone, both of which I was using to communicate with him, as well as assisting police in correspondence with him in order to attempt to negotiate a peaceful resolution to the situation, in which they were extremely unhelpful and extremely terrible at their jobs. I'm sure a lot of you don't know me. I went to school for policing. I'm very versed in police policy as well as in law, criminal law. So I know what should be done. It took until almost 4 p.m. this afternoon for anybody to even contact me, and it was only because I reached out, and I was the only person who has been consistently speaking with him all day. So that was a misstep there as well. I called the police sergeant that's on the ground currently. His name is Sergeant Eugene Russ or Rush. It's one or the other. I'm not 100% sure. But I called him. He insulted Omar multiple times on the phone. Sorry, my phone battery's dying. He insulted Omar multiple times on the phone. He refused to identify himself, aka his badge number, as well as his name. He refused until we had asked him multiple times. He was extremely rude to me. He was extremely combative with me on the phone when I was being nothing but polite to him. And we couldn't come to a resolution. I advised him that it was in their best interest, if not to restore his internet, because they claimed that the Zoom call we had was egging him on to at least restore communications through his landline so that I can talk to him and try to restore communications between him and the police. He refused to give me any information, obviously. He did tell me that at that time, about 2 or 3 hours ago, Omar was still in the house. I have no idea if he is still in the house now. Sorry. I have no idea if he's still in the house now. I don't know if he is still alive. I don't know if he's been shot. I do not know if he's been hurt. I do not know anything that is happening right now. The police will not communicate with me. So I'm sorry I can't answer any questions about that. I have not been able to speak to him for about, like I said, like 2 to 3 hours at this point, since they cut off all of his communications. I have his address if anybody with the media wants to go down there and record what is happening. That's about all I can give you. I was giving media his phone number up until his communications were cut off. We spoke to 2 private reporters, but the media also doesn't want to speak to anybody. I have been trying. I'm going to call the mayor's office, and I'm not going to sleep until I find out what the fuck is going on. Yeah, I guess that's the only update I have to give anybody, and that's about the gist of the situation. Yeah, like I said, I have pictures and videos to back pretty much everything that I've said up, including correspondence with the police. There's a video of my phone call with the police as well, of him being combative to me. He also admitted that he intercepted private communications between me and Omar. I've never seen a warrant. Nobody has seen a warrant for any of this. So as far as I'm aware or concerned, they breached his house without a warrant. There's no current pending charges on him that they would make anybody aware of. We did ask. So all of this is without a warrant and without charges. So as far as I'm concerned, without cause. Yeah, that's everything I guess I have to say. If you are with the media, feel free to private message me. I would love to talk to you and pass on pictures and videos if you want them. I do have them, and I have friends who have backups of the live streams that have been now taken down. A lot of his accounts were zucked. If my account gets zucked, I do have another account, but I've been using a VPN. I do hope that my account doesn't get zucked, but we will see. Yeah, just please keep sharing. Share this, share the other posts that I've made. He's a good person. Don't believe anything that you see if anybody tries to say differently. Sorry, I'm also like a really ugly crier. But yeah, that's everything that's been going on. Thanks for listening, I guess. I'm a boomer, I don't even know how to end this.